All right, welcome everybody. We're going to do some nice strength training today. We're going to talk about eccentric and concentric muscle contractions. So basically, it's two different ways to look at it, or two different ways about it. You contract your muscle, that's concentric muscle contraction. And as you lengthen the muscle, that's eccentric muscle contraction. All right, so what we're going to do is kind of tell you when you're doing what in your motion, and you want to slow down the eccentric phase, and we'll talk more about that as we go. Let's go ahead and stand up, or you can do this warm up set seated. Either way, we're going to warm up for about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll start with just some rotations. I like to just get standing up here, do some rotations, get yourself warmed up. So just a toe touch, elbow across. Good, elbow up and over. Kick and push forward. Kick back, still pushing forward. You can always have a hold on if you need to, whatever you got to do. But really this, you want to open up the hip flexors. Otherwise you end up leaning forward. Get those hip flexors opened up. A couple more. Good, open up the chest. Let's do some hamstring curls now. Just curling the leg back like so, opening up the chest. Good, both hands across, just a toe touch side. Spread the fingers. Get yourself warmed up. And up and over. And roll the hips around. Other direction. All right, so we're going to start with squats today. And like I said, we're going to talk about the eccentric and concentric muscle contraction. So remember, concentric is when you're contracting, eccentric is when you're lengthening. And so, for instance, we're going to do some squats here, about hip width apart with the feet, sitting back with it. So just sitting back like so. Try not to let my knees go forward. Good, so it's easy to sit back. You don't even have to do anything really. Gravity does the work for you. So the muscle contraction here is actually tightening those quadriceps. So going up is the contraction. And you want to slow down the eccentric phase, the part where you're going down. Otherwise, it's just easy. That's it. So a little slower on the way down, and then a little faster on the way up. 1, 2, 3 sort of a thing, and then 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Couple more here. Good, and then we'll go up to the balls of the feet. So I'm just going right up to the, letting the heels lift. Good. So contracting the muscles is going up. That's the concentric phase. So let's slow down the going down part, the eccentric part where you're relaxing the muscles and lengthening. Up, contract, and then down slow as you relax. So they found that you actually gain more muscle strength from working this eccentric phase of lowering. So that part can also be called the negative, coming down. Up would be the positive, and then down would be the negative. Do a couple more. Nice and slow on the way down. You can go really slow on this. It's not a big range of motion. All right. Let's stretch that out a little bit. So we're going to put one leg back. All right. So push into the heel, bend the front leg. Just kind of stretch it out. Good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Calf stretch, they'll call it. Lengthen that leg, really extend it out. Good. Let's go ahead and do 2 sets of that. So we're going to repeat those squats coming down. So sometimes they might even just have you work the negative. You have somebody on both sides of you get a barbell on your shoulder, you know, and maybe it's too heavy for you to push up. So you have 2 people helping you push it up, and then you work the negative just going down. And then they help you push it up, and then you go down with it. So that's often called the negative sets. And somebody's helping you do that negative with the positive part, and you're really just focusing on that negative part there. You could have dumbbells or something like that, but in that situation, you really need people helping you out and be working really hard. But you really get a lot of extra strength gains from those negative phases or eccentric phases. All right, let's go up to the balls of the feet again. So right up like this. So it's not a big range of motion, and you might want to try to slow it down even more coming down, up, and then even slow down the up part. So we could easily do it in 1 second. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If you have a clock handy or a metronome, you can go ahead and just pace yourself with that. You don't have to follow me, but go slower on the way down. Looking good. Just give me about 4 more of those. And you'd exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. So you can see just working that lowering and slowing really works the muscles more. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and have a seat, and we're going to get into some chest pressing with the band. And that's a great example too. You can have somebody on the bench press, you know, and you have them help you out with the bar going up, and then you just lower it down. That's the negatives again. That sort of a thing. All right, but we're just trying to work the negative or the eccentric phase a little more by slowing it down, rather than making it even harder. But slowing it down makes it harder. We're going to press out, and then nice and slow on the way back. So you're contracting the muscles on the way forward, and then you're really relaxing and extending the muscles on the way back. So you're going to relax as you still put some tension on it is the idea. Exhale forward, and then inhale coming back. Keep those shoulders down too. Let's do about 4 or 5 more of these. When you slow it down, it makes it harder. You can't do as many. And you can have your clock out or your metronome or your second hand. Just 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. Good. Let's move on to the row. We don't need to do too many of these. We just need to focus on each one of them. And we'll do a couple sets, so you'll go back to the chest press again. We're going to do a row with the feet underneath the band, crossing the handles. And just for some people that haven't seen this before, let me just show you from the side or scoot it back a little bit. Get it underneath those feet, cross the handles in the front, and then you're just going to row it back to the hips. All right, so go ahead and get started there. See if you can figure out what's the concentric motion part and which one is the eccentric motion part. A lot of you are smart enough to figure it out by now, I'm sure. We're going to cross those handles, remember? So pulling back is the concentric phase, and then relaxing and letting go. You could just let it go and the band does the work, pulls it forward for you. Pulling back, you could easily just let the band pull it forward. So you need to focus on those muscles, tightening them as it goes forward. So again, it'd be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And on this one, you want to relax those shoulders. Keep those hands more toward your sides. Don't raise them up too high. Keep them kind of low toward the hip. Go at your own pace there. You could even go slower, but that's kind of just the standard. 1, 2, 3. It even feels pretty intense. Let's do about 4 more. Contracting, and then the eccentric phase coming forward. All right, let's go back to the chest press. All right, here we go. Get it up high. You want it underneath those arms. Choke up high on the band. In case you missed that, we're going to press out and together, contracting the muscles, and then coming back. So we're contracting the chest muscles together. We're also contracting the tricep muscle. So as we press out, this muscle tightens, and then it relaxes as it comes back. So those are the main 2 ones that you're contracting and then relaxing. Concentric here, and then eccentric as you come back. Exhaling as you go forward, inhale as you go back. We have about 2 more of those. And 1 more. Excellent. All right, let's go back to underneath the feet. We're going to do the row again. Make sure it's secure underneath your feet. You don't want to have it hit up in your face. And so we're going to cross those handles, switching and grabbing with the opposite hands. And you're just going to row it back to the hips. And then 1, 2, 3 on the way back forward. Exhale back, and then come forward. So we'll do about 6 or 7 more of these, about 12 total. Like I said, you could use your own clock, checking yourself at your pace. One more of these. You can feel it after a while. Works very good. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to triceps. We'll do triceps with the band and then we'll move on to some weights with the biceps. So over the shoulder, you're going to put one hand in the back. I like to go on the back side of the handle there. So it's straight up and down and horizontal here. I'm just going to go straight up and down with this. Holding on in the front. So contraction, what muscle are we working here? We're working the triceps. That's the back of the arms. As we go back, it tightens the muscle and pulls the arm down. So that's your contraction phase, pushing down, and then the eccentric is going to be coming up. So it's a 1, 2 on the way down, and then 1, 2, 3 on the way up. And just try to stay focused, relax everything else. Exhaling as you press down. And we'll do about 6 more of these. Pace yourself. Because we could easily just let the band come up and we didn't have to worry about it. But slowing it down makes the muscle work more. And like I said, you actually gain more strength working that phase, not necessarily the push down. Let's do 2 more of these. You should be feeling it now. Excellent. All right, let's go to the other side. Through the back side, grab on that front there, and we're just pressing straight down and then coming up nice and slow. You might think about the tricep, really think and feel the tricep contracting there. That's it. Feel that muscle. Exhale as you press down. Just slow it down as you come up. We got about 3 or 4 more. I'm working a blue band. It's a little harder. It's nice. Excellent. Relax there. All right. Relax on your band. Just kind of shake it all out. All right. Let's get our weights out. We're going to do the biceps like I promised. We don't have a lot of balance plans today, so let's go ahead and just raise the knee if you want to. That'll work your core a little bit for your balance. And we're just going to do bicep curls. And we're going to do 8 of them on each side. And I want you to focus on, there's your contraction, right? Because the bicep's right here. 2 muscles. Is it 2 muscles? Is that why it's a bicep? No, it's two spots where it connects to the bone. So that's why it's called a bicep muscle. And so contracting in the front, and we're contracting here the whole time. So that's the contraction phase the whole time on the hip flexor. Lengthening as you go down, contracting as you go up. If you get a Charlie horse, just let that foot down. Do what you can. My leg's acting up a little bit myself, so I'll just let it go. Doesn't like the slow stuff. That's it. So gravity could easily do the work here by just letting your arms go down. So you have to slow them down. That's the eccentric phase there, and then contracting as you come up. Let's do 2 more of those. Good. And then we're going to do the same thing, bicep curl, but we'll just raise the other leg. Just nice and slow on the way down. That's it. Just enjoy it there. Exhaling up. We've got 3 more to go. One more. And relax. Good. Let's give that hip flexor a little rest and just kind of march it out a little bit, loosen it up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the chest press. We're going to lean back like we're on a bench. You're going to make sure to keep your back nice and straight there. And like a field goal post here, coming up and together, and then down and out. So contracting the chest muscles together again, working that tricep as it extends up. And there's 3 muscles back there. That's why it's called the tricep, right? No. The tricep attaches at 3 spots of the bone. So that's why it's called the tricep muscle. Now the quadricep, for instance, though, it actually has 4 muscles in it, and that's why it's called the quadricep. So you can come down to where you're kind of feeling it there with the Shoulders relaxed and come up. Remember to 3 seconds down. 1, 2, 3. 2 seconds up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Some of these longer motions are easier to do at that pace. So inhale down, exhale on the way up. About 3 more of these. It's a good basic workout. Not a lot of exercise. We've only done, this is our 5th exercise so far. Or wait, maybe a little more than that, huh? 6? About 6 exercises. All right, let's go ahead and do that with a row next. So we're gonna lean forward. I'm kind of showing you from the side. We'll do both hands. You're gonna row it up. You wanna keep your back nice and straight. So keep the chest up. You're just gonna row up, right? So get back just a tad bit so you can see, and you're gonna raise up. That's contraction, right? We're contracting the back muscles this time. That's what we're working, kind of your middle of your back, little upper back trapezius, because we're slightly upright still, but also the latissimus dorsi in the back. That's the one that gives you that shape, a V shape that you're looking for. So let's contract it all, and then extend and relax it all. And you can easily just let it go, you see, and your muscles don't even work. You're not even getting half the, or even more than half of the work out of it. So pull it up, 1, 2, and then relax, 1, 2, 3. You can even hold it for a second if it feels good. Opening up that chest. So notice our palms are facing each other on this one. We'll do it a little differently next time, but this is how you're going to do your chest press here in just a moment. Do about 4 more. So it's like an in close row. Excellent. All right, so we're going to go back to the chest press. We're going to do in close, palms facing each other, chest press. So arms are not out here this time, they're tucked in. If you have shoulder issues, this might be a better option. And you come down nice and slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. 1, 2, 3. That works more shoulders than chest. So you're actually contracting the shoulders as you go up, and then relaxing them as you go down. Also called the deltoid, front deltoid muscles. About 4 more of these. If you have shoulder issues, you don't have to do a ton of them, and you don't have to go all the way up either. Relax after 8 maybe. Keep that back straight. 1 more. Excellent. All right. So let's go back to that row, but this time we're going to do just like we did at first with the chest press. We're going to have the arms flare out to the side, like a field goal post upside down, and then coming back down. And get that count out here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Gets the middle of the back just a little bit more there. Almost there. Let's do about 4 more. Last one. Excellent. So I got one more strength exercise for you, and then we're going to stretch out. We're going to lean to the side or sit to the side, and we're going to lean back and do some sit-ups. Lean back to a point where it's best for you. Feet almost come off the ground, but not quite. Just be careful. So what do you think is the contraction phase here? Leaning back or leaning forward? Well, it's often easiest to think about it where, or it's often best to think about it where the eccentric phase is often the easiest. The contraction phase is the hardest usually. So sitting back is pretty easy. It's the sitting forward that's harder. The only thing that makes it harder is when you slow it down, working against gravity. So inhale as you go back, nice and slow as you go back. 1, 2, 3, and then forward. 1, 2. Good. I'll give you a chance just to get into it a little bit. Inhale as you go back. Exhale as you go forward. Do about 8 more of those. Your last exercise. Make it a good one. About 4 more. Last one. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and just stretch out. So set all your stuff down, and we're going to put the right leg out and leaning forward. So just to show y'all, make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm pulling those toes back, keeping this leg nice and straight, just leaning forward. I can brace here just to make sure I don't hurt my back or anything. Just nice and gentle, chest to toes. Another way I kind of like doing it now is leaning forward and opening up at the same time. So I actually just noticed recently, after I guess it's 16 years of doing this or whatever it is, that when you do this, you're actually curving your back and all that stuff. You know, really making that posture back to where you don't want it to be. And why do that? So I say we open up a little bit as we lean forward, taking the chest to the toes. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Take a deep breath in. Pull those toes back. Good. Now, you could also brace with one hand, open up with the other if you need that bracing. That's fine. But and you could still, you know, come here but open up. But let's not do this. Just open, stay open as you're doing it. And if you open up like this, not bracing, you're going to work that lower back a little bit too, strengthening the lower back. Excellent. So next we're going to open up the hip flexor, putting one leg back. And this is your hip flexor here. We're just going to open it up, reaching up and back. Just take some deep breaths here. All right, let's try the other side. Kind of keeping it simple today. Not a lot of exercises. You know, just keep it simple. Work the muscles. Same with these stretches. Just do a few stretches, the important ones. Really stretch the hip flexor here. That's very important. All right, back to center. And we're going to take a deep breath in. Lift the chest. This time breathe deep in your belly. So you should feel the breath stretching your belly. And then reach back, grab the back of your chair, and lift the chest, stretching the chest out. Now, while you're there, put your head down and you're just going to do like a pendulum, side to side, nice and easy, feeling every little muscle. All right, and then shake the hands out. And a couple deep breaths. Inhale as you reach up. And exhale. One more breath. All right, great job, everybody. You can always focus on those eccentric actions a little more, along with the concentric ones.